Sure, it might be 6 days for this guy, but it's been 719 days for me, meaning I have no memory of who he is, why he is, or what his well-manicured facial foliage is 6 days removed from. Kyle Gallagher's expression after sitting through the premiere of The First Smile somehow makes its way into this movie.
You remember my pumpkin frappe?
Pumpkin frappes. I'll see you in the comments.
Do you know who we are?
Yeah, I know you f***ing are.
And even though we firmly established that we both know who the f*** you are, I'm still gonna spell it out for the very confused people at home who don't know who the f*** you are, but I'm gonna be real mean about it, okay?
Last January, the two of you shot an innocent mother and her kid, killed him in Newark.
I get the logic of trying to pass the curse to a bad person, but what about the next victim? You can't apparently get out of the curse if someone witnesses you brutally murdering someone. So doesn't gifting it to a brutal murderer make it pretty f***ing likely that an innocent bystander will get it next?
It needs somebody to f***ing pass you. If you die, it won't f***ing work.
Good of Kyle to remind the audience out loud how this smile virus works.
I just buy from them, okay? I f***ing hate those guys. It's what I meant for you.
So Smiley doesn't mind if you care about or even like the people whose death you witness. As long as they die in front of you, you're possessed. So wouldn't this work with a hamster? What if Joel had just killed a hamster in front of another hamster? Would the surviving hamster become the new victim? Where's our movie about the plight of the traumatized hamsters, Paramount? Deus Ex Venena. Well, from the bullets at least. Do you want to know how I got these potholes? Is that a fucking GameCube in the year of our Lord Nintendo Switch?
Nearly 1 year ago, singer-songwriter and pop superstar Sky Riley was fighting for her life after being injured in a car accident.
Many multiple minutes of Drew's position because someone forgot the sin in corporate synergy. It's not often you get a scene shared by two people who both participated in two distinctly mediocre iterations of the same franchise. And I intend to spend an appropriate amount of time assessing why this is more exciting to me than my last 3 sexual encounters combined.
I drowned it all out with drugs and alcohol and a lot of bad decisions.
Hold up, a super famous person in the music industry goes off the rails because of drugs and booze? Why has this character flaw never been explored before and oh so often?
I want to take this opportunity to apologize to my fans, my loved ones.
That's interesting because I would like to take this opportunity to skip. Naomi Scott is clearly playing a Lady Gaga type in a movie about mental health, which is odd considering the actual Lady Gaga was unavailable due to being in a movie that had absolutely nothing to do with mental health. Oftentimes, when a movie focuses on a pop star, the songs they create sound nothing like a pop song one would actually hear, but damn it, this movie released a genuine Sky Riley EP, and I'll be damned if it doesn't contain some legit bops that I can't get out of my head. Authenticity sin removal. However, forcing me to listen to 2 of those songs in their almost entirety feels too much like that time U2 auto-downloaded their new album into your iTunes library, and f*** that for a precedent. While I'm relieved the pills aren't blue or red, we still have an addict contemplates using drugs but is interrupted and loses pills down a drain cliche. This hoodie has altogether too many toggles. Movie ruined. Riley's mom doesn't have some kind of warning system set up with these door people to make sure her vulnerable daughter doesn't sneak out to get drugs seconds after she's dropped off.
What?
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 What? Sky doesn't immediately run out the door after Lewis pulls the sword away from her.
There was speculation surrounding Riley's substance abuse.
Speculation that was already made clear to us by Auntie Drew. I know we need to pass some time here, but I don't know why it needed to be spent hearing old news position.
Lewis.
Scene does not contain a crime-solving Kevin Watley and is all the worse for it. People who box up their water guns and display them on the wall. Man, the Traw-monster sure does luck out with these victims. Sosie Bacon's character had a traumatic backstory, and now a pop star with a heap of recent f***upitude has literally wandered in stage right to be its next meal. Fortunately for cinema, Smiley attended the Final Destination School of Haunting Things with a double major in creative deathing. Also, finally a movie that shows the real dangers of working out. This is the exact reason I never go to the gym. Oh great, we're keeping the suddenly upside down establishing shot thing from the first movie. My stomach thanks you and sends you. This movie is very proud that Naomi Scott can chug a product placement in 5 seconds flat. You see, this is significant because pulling your hair out is exactly how this movie makes you feel while watching it. I will admit already that this movie is so much better than the first film. However, it's just as much of a character possessed by the smile, hears a noise, thinks they see something, and then said something, is all in their imagination, rinse, repeat cliche as the first film was. Maybe the actual scares are a little more effective, but it's still the same shit for 2 hours.
Hey, you paying attention?
Give me something worthy of paying attention to, and I promise I will.
It's really important for you to stay on top of your sleep schedule.
I prescribe the first 30 minutes of Smile 2 if you're struggling to nod off.
Hey, Darius.
Hey, man.
Darius is a dick to Joshua. Actually, I'm not sure if that's a Darius is a dick thing or Darius is a homophobe thing, but either way, it's an odd moment to have with a character we're going to spend all of 3 minutes with this entire film. Movie has time to Greta Garbo, Anne Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean on the cover of a magazine for all the some time.
Can you give me more? Even more. More.
I hear him saying the words, but I wish the movie would just spell out exactly what this is a metaphor for. The dangly side curtains on these glasses clearly evoke the blinders that you put on show horses to shut out the distractions around them, while the collar subtly denotes Riley being owned by the very thing that gives her financial freedom. Or some other shit. Skye is more worried about the DNA evidence and the vomit she left at the scene of Lewis's brutal death than the police will be about any of the evidence placing her there at the time of death. I wonder why demons so often like to fuck around with mirrors. Is it a vanity thing? Is it a haha, fuck you vampires, look what I can do thing?
Doctor, I need a new brain.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Lying to your fans.
I could make you happy.
It took security so long to take this guy away that I figured he must be a hallucination, but no, the movie just appears to have no idea how the real world works. Oh, are you paying attention to this bottle of water? This whole thing that I just happened to be spending a lot of time on, even though our person of interest has left the frame? Oh, pay no mind to this silly thing. I'm sure it isn't important. This camera, specifically. Read it.
I get hurting.
Because this petty demon says, F you, your hydration, and your product placement too. Also, it takes 30 goddamn seconds to get from initial jump scare to Riley discovering the broken glass. That is a self-indulgently disrespectful amount of wasting my time-itude. The most unbelievable part of this movie about fucking demon possession is that pampered rock star Skye knows how to use a broom. I think I'm supposed to believe that there's a chance this isn't a hallucination because it's the creepy guy from The Signing earlier. But that means me also believing that he got in here, got naked, laid his clothes out like this, all since Riley walked up to the cupboard, and without her hearing. Spoiler, I do not believe that.
What is happening right now?
Well, Gemma, I'm pretty sure you pulled a fake jump scare to counteract the previous fake jump scare created by the imaginary naked fan with the skin condition. As good as this movie can be, it really likes to keep shooting itself in the foot with all this boo scare bullshit it keeps throwing at us. Sorry to spoil the movie, but Gemma is a hallucination from here onwards. Fine, live your life, movie, you do you, but what I can't abide is that because we're not supposed to know that yet, Gemma acts so much like she isn't a hallucination. Like existing when Riley isn't looking at her, or jumping at the sound of this door closing. These are details that just feel much more about tricking the audience than it does fucking with Riley. Product placements that are immune to demon fuckery. Good thing the name is so clear because I gotta get me some Sov water. Stat!
Such a mess. Just how messy are we talking?
Are we talking Power Rangers reboot messy? Or Charlie's Angels reboot messy?
You remember Louis Fergoli?
Skye chooses to start her renewed friendship with Gemma by confessing a crime she committed and in turn making Gemma an accessory to said crime. Skye is the fucking worst. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
When I showed up, there was something off about him. He was scared of something.
Wait, the drug dealer who is clearly using too much of his own supply was acting weird and paranoid? Yeah, that's super surprising. I know something was actually wrong with him, but I'm not sure why Skye isn't just putting it down to the tiny amount of blood in his cocaine system.
You want me to spend the night? Oh, God, I missed you, bitch.
If the demon is feeding off of trauma, shouldn't happy feelings like this be, I don't know, like poisonous or something? Why would it give Skye so much comfort here instead of fucking with her even more? And why are you watching this and judging me for using Ghostbusters 2 logic on a demon from 2024? I know horror movies got a horror, but goddamn, this insistence to show us something gooey and gross every few minutes feels like the screenplay has been put into some sort of horror movie focus-tested blender instead of just telling us a genuine, naturally flowing, scary story. I don't own this Talking Heads shirt. Oh, you motherfucker.
Hey, Elizabeth.
I fucking love Gemma, demon or not. This movie does not have enough Gemma. Also, I wish the movie had mixed in some more of these humorous moments. Yes, the movie's darker themes carry a lot of weight, and there are even some genuinely creepy moments to boot. But there could have been a little more balance is all I'm saying. Movie has time for what is, I'm sure, a very authentic vocal warm-up. So here is an equally authentic sin for being over 2 hours long.
One of you was out of place and knocked me over. Who was it?
Skye goes from thinking bone is sticking out of her leg to jumping up and accusing her dancers of not hitting their choreography correctly. Are we supposed to like Skye? Because this movie seems to be very confused on that point. The smile demon wastes time Johnny Depping Skye's dressing room instead of doing anything remotely constructive. Do I want my movie demons doing more remotely constructive things? Yes. Yes, I do.
Are you using again?
What?
Nobody has to know.
Based on the fit Skye just threw in the hallway, everyone will know, or at least think, that Skye is using again, so Elizabeth is filling her daughter with false hope. I look forward to Smile 5, where I am still f***ing upside down. Also, I find these upside down city transitions confusing. At first, they seem to be a storytelling tactic, showing us the transition into the world the demon is presenting to Sky, but they are so few and far between now, they just feel more like some gimmicky visual bullshit, and I hate it. We get it. You can do goofy artsy shit with the camera. Oh, cool. Open bar and formal dinner are guests speaking tonight. I hear they really know how to get the crowd moving. I'm fascinated by how she texts with those fake nails. I can't text 3 words with my stubby-nailed man fingers without having to go back and correct them a couple times. This might be the aspect of Sky I hate the most. The brief this assistant was given must have gone along the lines of, take Riley's phone when it's time for her to go on stage, but don't you dare, under any circumstances, tell her if any of her makeup is smudged, especially if it dominates half her goddamn face. F*** her.
I'm Sky Riley, and I'm here tonight to...
Instead of being honest and explaining to the audience that the teleprompter froze and she's going to have to wing it, Sky will go off on some weird dark diatribe about the price of fame. How could the demon have f***ing predicted she would do that? I feel like a lot of this bullshit Sky brings on herself without the demon's help, and how exactly is that fun for us to watch?
You'll spend years of your life chasing success, you know.
I think we all underestimated how good Naomi Scott could be as an actress. Everything that works in this movie is 100% because of her performance. It's a powerhouse one-woman show that will never get the accolades it deserves because horror movie. But I'm not going to overlook it. Now remove a sin before I start thinking about how much I hated the first movie. However, it's hard to feel bad for Riley when I have no idea if she's going to wake up in a few seconds and discover that this is all a terrible dream hosted by Conan O'Brien. To be fair, this is more or less the common result from events that have opened bars, regardless of whether or not there is an evil entity lurking about the proceedings. However, the demon did majorly luck out by having a vulnerable elderly woman within getting f***ed off the stage distance of a hallucinating Riley. The mysterious stranger claiming they can help starts with a vague message and has taken a full day to explain that they are able to help. Seems suspiciously similar to how a person not trying to help would act. Helpy Helperton reassures Riley everything she is experiencing is real and attempts to prove that by sharing a video of Lewis freaking out at an empty corner. I would argue that proves the opposite. But I won't send you a picture of me so you know who you're looking for, because I want this to be as creepy and uncomfortable a meetup as possible, Sky. Ah, Sudden Tom! Jesus, between him and Cal Penn, is the Smile franchise going to collect a new House cast member with each installment?
I'm not a creep.
Well, that's what every creep says.
Sky would be the creepiest at spotting a creep sense.
Look, I'm aware that what I'm about to say is going to sound completely insane, but
I'll actually be right on the f***ing money, which is f***ing insane because my hypothesis is entirely impossible to prove and possibly the most ridiculous interpretation of the events at hand. It's like the exact opposite of Occam's razor. It's Occam's extremely dull and unlikely spoon.
if it helps, you might call it a spirit or a demon.
Loris has the weirdest idea of what helps of any character I've ever seen in the history of cinema. And I've seen Spice World twice.
I got a call informing me that he tore his own jaw off with a crowbar.
And the movie feels the need to keep its gore every 3 minutes quotient by showing us the jaw coming off with the crowbar, even though we can visualize that perfectly fine ourselves.
From what I can tell, the chain stops when an infected host dies in some other way outside of the being's control.
But how would Morris know this? That's a big deduction based on that one guy who murdered someone to get out of the curse. This is the Final Destination model of switching the order of death's victims, but with 100% less Tony Todd. I had no offense to Peter Jacobson, but Morris is no Tony Todd.
So it only stops if I die before it kills me?
Exactly. We need to kill you first.
Sure, just deliver that news in the most extreme way possible instead of the much more reasonable plan you're about to share, you lead-burying motherfucker.
That's Scott?
These people recognize Sky from a distance in a dimly lit bar with her face obscured by a ball cap and a hoodie. And that is all the bullshit. Light switch zoom. Light switch zoom. Light switch zoom! Excitement? Rumor has it they brought in Tom Cruise to train Naomi Scott how to drink a liquid this fast, but were surprised to discover his body completely rejects water. One thing I'm certain this movie wants me to know about Sky is that she is physically incapable of handling pills in any kind of normal way, and I'm not exactly sure why the movie or I should find that interesting. Raw dogging pills in a movie that has a 97% water content score. An unlikely amount of this movie is spent watching Riley crawl backwards on her ass. This Flashdance mob haunting scene f***ing rules, but I'm shit out of sin removals, so I'll just have to be a dick and sin that the demon needs to get a damn hobby instead of coming up with this elaborate shit. God damn, this is weird. Who the f*** calls this art? This would be pretty spooky in something like Insidious, The Conjuring, or 2 Weeks' Notice, but since most of the f***ed up visuals thus far have been hallucinations, why should I assign this any one of my precious cares? I'm not one to usually endorse excessive cuts in movies, but, they do have the great side effect of not making me want to vomit, which is something I cannot say for this scene.
Where's my phone? I need my phone.
Right here.
Elizabeth conveniently not checking Sky's text history on her phone and questioning her conversations with Morris might be the most convenient thing to conveniently happen in this movie.
I've tasted what's inside your head.
Head tasting scares.
Look what you're doing to your poor mother.
Considering we'll find out in 20 minutes that Elizabeth is still alive, Skye is doing absolutely nothing to her mother, and this is a scene full of false tension and zero stakes.
You know what? I'll be right back with one surprising soda.
Surprising soda is A, the 25th leading cause of death in Wisconsin, B, the TikTok trend banned in 49 states, C, a spicy Albanian cola drink, or D, the sexual position my college girlfriend refused to let me try even on my birthday. The situation will be made 1,000 times more traumatic by the fact that Skye has no clue that a solid third of her bloody gown is exposed. And I don't know how Smiley could plan for such an extreme lack of peripheral vision on her part. Not sure if I should send the idea that Skye is all of a sudden stealth enough to swipe this gun or that this guard's gun is this easy to swipe. Take your pick. I choose both. Skye manages to not murder anyone on the floor above her.
I love you, but if I don't leave right now, I'm gonna fucking die. It.
Littering.
I need to get to Staten Island.
What? Gross. Why?
Hallucinated Gemma would be fucking hilarious at Staten Island since.
Skye.
Man, real life Gemma has the most amazing timing to make her call to Skye. Does real life Gemma know she's in a horror movie? Did she read the script? Also, dun dun dun, Gemma isn't real. And even if this had been shocking, my brain immediately pivots to how the Riley was able to drive this car through New York City traffic while tripping trauma balls. Stop inverting my perpendicularity.
Where are your shoes?
In a world where the smile demon exists and these two are about to rip off the plot of Flatliners to save the day, Morris is concerned about where Skye's shoes are.
If this theory of yours doesn't work, or you see me change and start smiling, shoot me in the head.
But how is that going to stop the demon? Unless Morris is a fucking psychopath, I'm pretty sure shooting her in the head is going to be a pretty traumatizing experience for him.
It's the only thing I could find for lease on short notice that had a large enough freezer.
Why do we need a freezer?
For your brain.
I bet this asshole makes dinner for his kids and says, "Eat up, offspring, your cow meat has been butchered, cremated, and plated." Also, based on what we're going to learn in a few minutes, I'm not even sure if Morris is real. And if he's not, then goddamn, this demon really likes to create a thoroughly detailed storyline for its fantasies. It even manages to get its manifestation sponsored by Pizza Hut.
Freezer door latch is broken. If it closes all the way, it can't be opened from the inside.
Don't worry about this oddly specific quirk. I'm sure it won't result in you being trapped in here with a demon at some point in the near climactic future.
I'll need to inject it directly into your internal jugular. After 30 seconds, you'll be dead.
Wait, like in my neck?
Being more concerned about the delivery method than the death itself.
I can't believe I might die in the freezer of a fucking Pizza Hut.
Would Little Caesars have really been preferable?
I've not let this fucking thing use me to hurt anyone else.
She will.
Don't move. Just have to get something.
What a weird f***ing thing to say. Pretty convinced Morris has been a hallucination from Staten Island onwards, but he was a pretty convincing one until this random departure. Did the demon just get bored of being Peter Jacobson? Bottom line, is going through this elaborate Jesus and a Pizza Hut plan really the best way the demon can think of to traumatize Riley?
Morris is in here!
Damn it, Riley. How do you not get this? It was always in there because it's in your f***ing head. It hasn't been f***ing off at Staten Island Zoo while you were chilling out in a freezer.
I like wearing your skin.
Silence of the smiles.
You'll never escape who you truly are on the inside.
So is the demon also supposed to be teaching Skye a lesson on top of possessing the entire world with its bullshit? Because that just seems counterintuitive. If Skye is now at the concert, then does that mean the Pizza Hut freezer stuff never happened? We're about to find out Elizabeth is still alive, so does that mean everything at the wellness center never happened either? And if the Pizza Hut freezer wasn't a thing, then does that mean Morris wasn't real either? Or at least post-bar Morris? And if Skye was going to end up at the concert and do the Smiley's bidding regardless of everything that happened up to this point, what was the point of everything I've watched for the past 2 hours? How can a movie be both quite good and yet unnecessarily irritatingly confounding all at the same time? And why was this movie f***ing 2 hours? Also, if this is real, what has Riley been doing the entire time? Has the demon been autopiloting her while her family and tour people get her dressed and made up for the show? If this is the case, Smiley is talented as f***, and I posit that they could be making better use of their skills. Also, the demon clearly has 100% control of Riley's perception, so why let her see that her mother is alive? Why give Riley the relief that she didn't kill her? Roll credits. The similarities here have not gone unnoticed, but there's a very good reason we're sending this instead of the substance. And it's not just because this one came out second. This is so dumb. You can see the string stretching her mouth and everything. God damn, not a single one of these fucking backup dancers looks remotely concerned by what looks like a seizure happening on stage. I know these places have medics, and I know for a fact they'd be jumping into action if fucking Lady Gaga stared at the audience for a few minutes and then started choking on the floor. Okay, maybe Gaga was a bad example, but you know what I mean. Riley executes the perfect mic drop and dies in front of these people. So does that mean that everyone here is cursed? That means we can look forward to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Many hours later.
17,492 of these fucking movies.
Now I see the funny side. Now I'm always smiling.
What's your fucking jacket, man?
This is Egyptian cotton, motherfucker. 223. This is like half you shitty-ass patient.
Let's get started. Yes, beautiful. Feeling it. Yes, there we go. You're a tiger. You're Tony the Tiger.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really ridiculously good looking?
We've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I didn't f***ing know anybody else was here!
You're gonna be okay. Say the goddamn word.
You like a samurai sword. I like this.
You look exhausted.
You look like a doily.
Yo, 148, 3 to the 3 to the 6 to the 9.
You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin.